L13.2, angles and angle measures. Now we're going to take a look at another part of trigonometry, which is the way it looks at angles. And we've learned that with geometry that an angle is created with two rays, and trigonometry looks at it as one ray rotating. So for example, you could create an angle by having two rays sharing a vertex, and then the result would be the angle between. Now again, but trig is going to take a look at this in a different manner. It's going to look at it and say, we're going to take one ray and rotate it. And with that rotation, we will create an angle. So as you rotate the ray, you create an angle that is made from the beginning position to the end position. And in the vocabulary that we're looking at here, it is the initial side and the terminal side. So as this drawing shows, the initial side is the ray in its starting position. Its terminal side is when it stops rotating, so it's finished position. It rotates around a fixed point, and that's the vertex right there. And when you have an angle in standard position, the vertex is at the origin, and its initial side is the positive x-axis, so right there. So trigonometry looks at rotation of one ray. So if we talk about rotation, then we have to also discuss direction of rotation. So we have in our mindset clockwise and counterclockwise, and how does that pertain to trig? Well, if we take a ray and rotate it counterclockwise, that is called a positive angle movement or measure. If we rotate it clockwise, we have a negative rotation. So here we went counterclockwise and we got a positive 225 degrees. Here we went clockwise and got negative 210 degrees. And let's review one brief moment, make sure that we're on the same page. If we're talking rotation, then it should be reviewed to say that if we start at 0 degrees at the x-axis and rotate it to the y-axis, that is 90 degrees. If we continue to rotate to the negative x-axis, that's 180 degrees, so we'd be facing the other direction. If we were to continue to the negative y, that'd be 90 degrees more, which would be 270 degrees rotation. And if we rotate all the way around, then we are looking at a full circle, or 360 degrees. So keep that in mind as we go through the rest of this lesson. Coterminal is a term used to describe sharing the terminal side. So if you have an initial side, which we have been saying is the positive x value right here, positive x-axis, and the terminal side is when it stops, coterminal would look the same, except it would have been achieved with a different movement. So in this one right here, we have a positive 225 degree rotation, with the initial side on the x-axis and the terminal side in its position given right here. If we were to rotate the other direction, however, it would look the same. It would still have the same initial side and same terminal side, but the direction was different. So we would say that the angle of 225 degrees is coterminal to the angle of, and we would find that missing degree by subtracting it from 360. Okay? And that would be 135 degrees. So those two are considered coterminal because they look the same, but they achieved that position with different directions, by going different directions. If we have coterminal angle to 30 degrees, we have to consider how do we get to the 30-degree position without going in the regular direction. So for example, here's 0, 30 degrees, would be about, that's 45, so about there looks good. We said that that represents 30 degrees. Then how do we get there from a different direction? Okay, so let's start here again. If I went the other direction and ended there, that would be 360 degrees, take away 30, would be 330 degrees with a negative rotation, because I would have done this instead. That's one possible answer. Or we could take, start here and go 30 degrees, then go a full circle all the way around and stopping there again in the same position. So that would represent 30 degrees plus another 360 degrees. So we would have gone a full circle from the beginning point of 30 degrees, which would have given us 390 degrees. There's many different answers for this. It's unlimited because I could go another full circle around and add another 360, etc., and get more and more possible solutions. So coterminal just represents getting to the same position but rotating differently to get there. So either a negative rotation or rotating the required amount and then adding 360 to it continuously if you like. Now for our last part with respect to angle rotation, here we have 3 questions. Drawing our answer in the degrees they want us to have. So the first one's negative 45 degrees. Well, here's 0. Negative means clockwise, and all the way to this axis is 90, so it's halfways. So that represents negative 45 degrees. 215 would take us past 90, past 180, to about there. That'd be a positive 215. And then 405 degrees would be all the way around a full circle. So starting here, going 100 or 360 around, plus another 45, and that would represent 405 degrees. And this ends our 13.2 Part A.